Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Iron Port. This program is proudly brought to you by Serene Insurance, Go PLC, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Our proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. This program is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. So this week we are taking a look at the destruction of Ghana's coastlines and also the danger this poses to the country. And as you can see right behind me, these huge stones that were mounted here at the coastline to serve as a sea defense. Some have been submerged by the sea waves, others are on their way to submersion, if I can put it that way. And then we had in the studios an official from the Ghana Hydrological Authority to tell us, what steps are being taken to protect the coastlines and also what support government can give in that direction. Let's take a listen.
Over the years and recently, due to climatic change and associated sea level rise, we have had series of coastal erosions along our coast, especially at the hotspots, where there's devastation effect of this erosion has caused many destructions to life and properties, buildings, and even to the extent of affecting the economy or the fishing activities of fishermen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wonder if you can give us a brief on what the current state of our coastline is. I think there were some figures mentioned by Dr. Kese, if we recall.
Exactly so. So if
a number of kilometers,
Yeah. For our coastline is approximately 550 kilometers stretch long, and it's comprised of mainly sandy
550
shores.
kilometers.
Yes, that's 550 kilometers. Sandy shores with beach features and rock outcrop, and usually a narrow beach. Yeah, so it's also interspersed with rivers and streams and some lagoons along the stretch.
Right.
And currently, we have realized that 2/3 of our coastlines are critically under stress, and this is a challenge that has come to stay with us, and we have to find and devise a way of solving or addressing this situation. Over the years, we have been able to undertake some coastal protection works. If I should...
you can list them, yes. Some of the things that you've done, yeah.
Check the data.
On the initiatives, yeah.
Okay, from, let's say from 2010, these coastal protections comprise of like Advanced Sea Defense. We have the Blekusu Sea Defense, which is in the Volta region, which protected about 4.3 kilometer stretch. The Atoko Sea Defense Phase 1, 2, and 3, which protected over 4 kilometers.
Atoko, that's in Alonga?
Yes, that's in Alonga in the Volta region.
All right, sure.
Yeah, so other projects like the Keta Sea Defense and so on. We also have some projects, initiated some sea defense projects in the Greater Accra region, Central region, and the Western region in the past. So at various stages, and each project has did some length of stretch of protection. So
right.
If you sum up, we have actually in the last decade about 80 kilometers of coastlines have been protected or safeguarded from the threats we receive from the coastal, from the sea erosions. So this I say is the current state, and the 2/3 which is under threat is approximately 770 kilometers of our coastline.
Okay.
It needs urgent attention. Yeah.
Okay, so when you talk about protective measures, what exactly do you do as an engineer? When you go there, you say, okay, this place is reeling under serious threats, and so we need to deal with it. We need to take some protective measures. What do you do there? Do you build walls, or what is it that you do?
Okay, so there are several protection mechanisms that we can employ in protecting our coast. We have the hard engineering method, also soft engineering, and usually the ministry, together with the Ghana Hydrological Authority, undertake measures because the challenges at the coast are what we have to provide immediate solution. We undertake the hard engineering methods to solve this canker. And this actually are undertaken at the hotspots. When I say hotspots, areas where the erosion is serious, that if nothing is done, maybe we have to lose the whole coastline, city, or even national installations, or even monuments, just like even the castle, and all those that. So when usually we introduce coastal structures to avert this coastal erosion, like revetment, sometimes breakwater, groins, seawalls, and others, depending on the prevailing situation at the shoreline.
Okay, so initially you mentioned 550 kilometers of coastline, and then again you mentioned 700 kilometers, and you also mentioned that about 80 kilometers have been protected and all that. I want you to bring some clarity. When you mentioned 550 kilometers of our coastline, what exactly are you referring to? When you mentioned 700 kilometers of our coastline, if you can draw the dichotomy.
Okay, so I said our coastal stretch, total coastal stretch is 550 kilometers.
Yes.
And I did mention that 2/3 of our coastline, which is approximately 370 kilometers, is at risk.
That was the figure Dr. Kisi mentioned.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
that's in his. And he also said that 80 kilometers out of the 370 has been protected.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, substantively, we have the drive is to concentrate on the remaining 290 kilometers of coastal stretch, which has to be attended to. The one-third is fairly stable, which does not need any attention now, and we're hoping that if the current situation of climate change, sea level rise, and even natural forces persist the way it is, those one-third can be still stable for some time.
Okay, so can you walk us through? I know you mentioned some of the areas that you have protected that encapsulate, that makes up for the 80 kilometers that you have worked on. But if you can tell us which areas in particular, I know you mentioned Atoko and the rest that have been protected, but 370 is what is really under serious threats.
Exactly.
So which areas, are involved?
Okay, so the areas span along the coastal stretch of the country. So when you take our coastal stretch from the western, that's border with Cote d'Ivoire to the east, border with.
Okay, I think there are some visuals there on the screen.
With in the east to the Flao. This 370 kilometers is there are points where we normally say hotspots. It stretches across from the central region to the eastern to the central region to the Volta region primarily.
Okay.
Yeah, so
central to the Volta.
Yes.
Okay, it means it doesn't affect western.
Yeah, it affects western, but because the wave energy from the western is low.
Right.
So the wave energy from our coastal is low, and it moves towards the eastern side is high, and that is how come we have more challenges moving from the western side to the eastern side. So some of the places, if I should mention, we have Aboise, we have Shama and Law, and Law coastal stretch. Other areas like Discoff. Even when you come to the central region, there are places. The coastal stretch of Winneba is under threat. Manford is under threat, and Accra. In the Greater Accra, we have Koklobite, the Dansuma coastal stretch, Life area. Some areas like Tema Newtown.
Yes.
Tema Newtown coastal stretch is under threat. We also have the Lateshi coastal stretch, Maritime University stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ningo Pram Pram, and the eastern stretch from the lower Volta Delta to Aflao border are all critical areas which falls within the 370 kilometers. Yeah.
Okay.
And I believe we have plans already, and we have proposed some projects, and we believe with time, as time goes on, and some of this will be addressed even before the year ends.
What are some of the propositions you've made?
Okay. For instance, with the eastern stretch in the Volta region, feasibility studies have been conducted for projects like the Blekusu Sea Defense phase 2.
Yeah.
That's, if implemented, will protect around 8 kilometer stretch. Yeah, from Blekusu through Denu to where it ends. So these are projects which has been conceived already. Documents prepared, studies have been done. The seal of quality has been given. So we are waiting for commencement. Yeah, the government, our mother ministry is the Ministry of Works and Housing.
Yeah.
So we are waiting for commencement from them so that the contractor can go to site to implement this project to save the community and some infrastructure, social infrastructure installations along, especially the Denu to Aflao Road.
Okay, so you mentioned this cove, you mentioned Mountford, you mentioned Winneba, and I've been part of the Ministry of Transport delegation or team that have visited these. You know, they've built landing sites and fishing harbors in most of these communities. I think it's like 14, sites across the country, even including Teshi and all that. Can't these landing sites help deal with the situation, or you think it would have no effect at all as far as the destruction of the area is concerned in terms of the coastal line that we have there?
Okay, so with the way our coastal stretch behave, it's the coastal stretch or the coastal phenomenon usually tends to establish its equilibrium. So in the event of human interventions or at the shore, the coastal phenomenon tend to adjust itself, and this might in some way affect the downstream or sometimes the upstream of the shoreline.
Right.
So perchance there might be some distractions or even effect on the downstreams of the coast. And I know when these projects are conceived and feasibility works are done, they consider all these issues.
Right.
Therefore, I'm of the view that maybe I've not been to all the sites peculiarly, but I'm of the view that this project, as being initiated by the Ministry of Transport, took into consideration the effects on the downstream, and I'm sure works were done in that manner.
So if you would tell us, I know in your initial submission, you made mention of the fact that it affects the economy. That's through the fisheries sector, and the fishes we have along these areas and all that. Now, what would you tell us the implication of the destruction of a coastal line or coastline is? What are the implications apart from the fisher folk suffering, and in what ways does it affect the fisheries sector?
Okay, so the implication of the coastal erosion is that this usually the shorelines without any landing sites. The fisher folks use the natural landing site to operate and to land their canoes and also undertake some fishing activities. But the coastal erosion deprived them from landing.
So these are some of the screens I think we got from you.
Yes.
Effects of coastal erosion, and you can see the sand.
Yes.
The
So they are the devastation effect of the waves.
Yes.
As it strikes the shores, it keeps on taking away the sediments little by little, and with time you can have this cliff erosion formed. So these areas are along the Pram coastal stretch.
Right.
Yeah, and as you see, these ones are. I'm sure this is Shama and Lo coastal stretch, where if there's nothing is done, we stand a chance of losing the whole community of the unlock stretch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that Toko area?
This side, I think the pictures are many. I cannot really point. So again, this side too is Oningo area. Yeah, this is another. It's a continuous stretch.
Yeah.
From that area, the devastation is quite serious. It had affected a lot of resorts, holiday resorts along the stretch.
Right.
Personal properties, buildings, and actually increased sea line recession. That's our land being lost to the sea.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a major challenge in this area.
All right, so that was the official from the Ghana Hydrological Authority telling us what steps need to be taken in order to protect the land from being eroded by the sea. Iron Port returns after this break.
Ohima, no be me taking number first.
But you tell me say take the number give me.
Guys, no, I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really?
Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, feel me talking about what?
Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Raw 95.
Blow up with Super XP Raw 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him.
Hey, go for na buajungwa mami.
Choose Super XP Raw 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Raw 95. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome to the GPHA port of Takoradi, Ghana's first commercial port. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA has in its quest to position the ports of Ghana as the leading trade and logistics hub of West Africa, embarked on a massive expansion drive at its Takoradi port, the first commercial port of the country. This has resulted in a radical transformation of the initial 7-berth low-drafted port, which was constructed in 1928, to an ultra-modern port fitted with deep-drafted container, multi-purpose dry bulk, and liquid bulk facilities. The 16-meter deep dry bulk terminal is the deepest in the sub-region, with a total quay length of 800 meters. It is fitted with a combined 3-kilometer length conveyor system, which comes with a 2,500 metric tons per hour ship loading capacity, which has greatly improved ship turnaround time at the port. The Marshall Liquid Bulk Terminal is a fully automated liquid bulk facility dredged to -14 chart datum and equipped with automated firefighting system. The facility is fitted with 5 loading arms for gasoline, diesel, LPG, bitumen, and heavy fuel. On the container side, Takoradi Port's 16-meter deep yield port and ATSL container terminal with a quay length of 600 is expected to receive container vessels in the 3rd quarter of the year.
Welcome back from the break. Now, news and activities happening within the ports and maritime industry. Next.
A new $14 million, 8,000-ton cold storage facility has been built and commissioned in Tema, adding to the country's growing asset base when it comes to modern and safe preservation of fish. Owned by Pioneer Food Cannery, a subsidiary of the Thai Union Group and producers of the Star-Kissed brand, this cold store is fully equipped with modern salting and sizing facilities. According to the Thai Union Group, ownership of a new cold store in close proximity to PFC's production factory will cut down on logistical delays and consolidate the company's storage needs into one location for increasing raw materials.
PFC has been renting cold store across Tema to support its operation. Finding the cold store that complied to our specification and standard has been challenging. Through close collaboration with a few industry partners, we have successfully brought this project over the line whilst meeting both local and EU expectations. Previously, our scattered cold store came with logistical challenges, including increased traffic, and therefore, that's what we want to eliminate.
It's true, PFC for all the years being here in Ghana hasn't really owned a lot of material assets. Of course, we have the building structure that's owned by PFC of the plant, but no land, no cold storage, no warehouse, no forklifts, no trucks, and even the machines that we're using, many of them are leased. So the fact and the circumstance that this is changing with the opening of this new cold store today and with a long-term investment, I believe is a tremendous commitment of the Thai Union Group into PFC and into Ghana.
Thai Union has invested in PFC since 2010. Since then, this is the first major investment that we have made. And this investment is in the amount of 14 million US dollars. I believe that this investment would demonstrate our commitment, our confidence in the country of Ghana, in the city of Tema, and also in PFC management team.
The Member of Parliament for Tema East, Isaac Ashai Odamteng, praised Pioneer Food Cannery for their decades of collaboration with the industrial city of Tema and its people, and called for even stronger investment in the human resource of the company.
Is to say thank you, that you recognize that this edifice presents to you a much better cost savings in your operations. Thank you, because I foresee and expect that the living conditions and the standard of living of our people who work in the Pioneer Group, both Ghana and across the globe, may improve by the major savings you make in here.
The Deputy Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Abdul Aziz Ayaba Musa, said the investment in this facility aligns with the government's goals for the fisheries sector, which hinge on the hygienic preservation of fish and the mitigation of post-harvest losses.
This new facility embodies our collective commitment to excellence in food preservation and distribution. It will leverage the latest refrigeration technologies to extend the shelf life of fish products, reduce spoilage, enhance food safety. These improvements are essential for meeting both domestic and international standards.
The Thai Union Group is widely represented in the global tuna production sector, with factories in France, Portugal, Italy, Germany, Norway, Seychelles, among others.
Calls have been made for the tightening of mitigating measures that check the canker of stowaway that has begun to emerge again in the West African sub-region. According to the Deputy Port Security Manager, Isaac Kofiedu, although the port of Tema continues to record zero stowaway embarkations, the port has become the destination of disembarkations of stowaways from elsewhere, and if care is not taken, it may become a trend. He said intelligence gathered pointed to the island port of Tinkan in Lagos, Nigeria, as a potential source of stowaways who may have recognized the business opportunity in this venture.
So now we don't have any challenge. We are even advising them how to do at their Tinkan port. So there's going to be an exchange program that one of our officers will go there, tell them what we do. We're also going to exchange information about those who have been disembarked here, data that we have about them, those who have been here 2-3 times, so that we share with them. But I think when they get back, nothing is down to them. So it's becoming something that they always want to do. Try and get here. The P&I Club will give them something small before they go back to Nigeria. So it's becoming like a business.
He was speaking exclusively to Iron Port after an exchange visit by the Interpol Maritime Security Unit to the port of Tema. The Interpol Maritime Security Unit, under Project Agwe, visited Accra and Tema on a mission to enhance cooperation between Ghanaian and Nigerian law enforcement and to provide an opportunity to discuss ongoing security-related cases of mutual interest. A criminal intelligence officer with the Maritime Security Unit of Interpol, Olude Aziz Adimola, said his outfit is pleased with the feedback and will work with both Ghanaian and Nigerian maritime security and law enforcement agencies to activate existing tools that would help curb this menace.
I won't say it's a common occurrence in the region, but as you see, during the meeting, it was presented by the representative of Ghana Port Authority. So, but what we see there, we've mentioned some of the Interpol services that can use to curtail this, which include issuing of purple notice. That is, the Ghana Port Authority can exchange the information based on their experience with Nigeria, with their counterpart in Nigeria. They can also use some of our channels of communication, like exchange visit. We also do what we call mentorship through follow-up on cases. So we can use all these tools. And then this can also come up in the case coordination meeting that will commence tomorrow in Accra. So we have the platform in which they can use to exchange their idea against this trend.
The Interpol Maritime Security Unit also paid visits to the Narcotics Control Division, Eastern Naval Command, Marine Police, and the CID headquarters in Accra.
We have some international port and maritime news.
The Port of Barcelona has launched its first onshore power supply system at Hutchison Port's Best Container Terminal. This equipment, which is the first in a container terminal in a Mediterranean port, makes it possible to supply ships with 100% renewable origin electricity so that they can turn off their engines while in the Port of Barcelona and thus reduce their emissions. The OPS system is the first to be deployed under the €200 million Nexogen plan, which will enable all the wharves at the Port of Barcelona to be electrified to reduce emissions from port activity. Australia's National Science Agency, CSIRO, and the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, MPA, have issued a grant call for proposals for the Australia-Singapore Low Emissions Technologies Initiative, also known as ASLET. Under the initiative, the partners aim to accelerate towards a net zero emissions future while delivering bilateral economic benefits. The ASLET is supported by the governments of Singapore and Australia. The objectives of the ASLET grant opportunity are to provide funding to projects that will contribute to the reduction of the cost of using low emissions fuels and technologies, including clean hydrogen and its derivatives and ammonia in maritime and port operations.
Now, schedules of vessels in the port, those at Anchorage and those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate next. We have the phrase of the day next.
Cross-docking is a practice in logistics of unloading materials from a manufacturer or mode of transportation directly to the customer or another mode of transportation with little or no storage in between.
All right, so let's take a listen to some comments you've been sharing with us.
Abraham Chachu says, Blue Economy Coastline has a lot in terms of job creation, but unfortunately, we are wasting it. Tony from Tema says, for coastlines close to main roads like Kita in Tema, how severe could the situation become without sea defense systems? Can you help us understand the importance and impact of sea defenses in these areas? Well, Tony, according to Mr. Akuto, sea defense is crucial because it works hand in hand with other measures to halt the destructive effects of coastal erosion. Therefore, the installation of sea defenses causes the wave to absorb energy, dissipate that energy, and return to the sea without eroding the coast. These shoreline constructions or sea defenses work to prevent coastal erosion.
All right, so this is where we draw the curtain on this week's episode of Eye on Port. Thank you for watching and thanks to the entire crew. Join us same time next week and also follow us on our various social media platforms on your screens.